Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back.
So, guys, this is a series of daily messages coming through the guides. Some days we don't catch up, and other days, we might get a couple messages through to make up for it. This one is something that came through that Cindy's going to share on non-attachment. And what does that really mean when we say non-attachment? I think that term is associated mostly with Buddhism, but really it doesn't belong to any one dogma as much as it does to a tool, being a tool that can help us to maybe be more present in the moment.
Yes, be more effective. So I've been opening my heart to receive information from our guides every morning, and it seems like their presence has become stronger and stronger, and wanting to help other people, myself, whoever might need it, whoever might need to hear this. Um, and discover a little more about non-attachment. What does that look like? What are the good parts about it, and what are some of the pitfalls? Because there's duality. There's black and white with everything. So we should always look at everything as a whole and then decide what's best for us. So some things she was talking to me about when it comes to non-attachment is it's one thing. It's not about renouncing life at all, but it is creating space for life to flow. So when we release our grip on outcomes, possessions, and identities, we open ourselves up to new opportunities and ideas flow freely. So if anything's ever happened to you in your life and it just felt like a door slammed in your face, this is where you might want to at least think about this, and think about what would that look like for you if that door were to open again, or another door for that matter. Detachment doesn't mean not caring. It means we will no longer allow our happiness or stability to depend on things outside of us. So it helps us align with our higher self, is what it does. Um, so when it comes to both sides of non attachment, the light side is inner freedom. It liberates you, it liberates your spirit from being ruled by fear, desire, and external control. You become less reactive and more sovereign in your energy. So there's less pain. Um, it can give you peace of mind without clinging to expectations or outcomes. The mind quiets and you experience deeper inner stillness and clarity. That's really big, releasing expectations. Of course, in life, we have expectations for people to be kind to us, to treat us well. But if you have someone in your life and things just aren't working out, check your expectations of them, because they might not be able to meet those expectations. It's not a reflection on you, it's just where they're at. So sometimes we need to check that. When you detach from ego's wants, you create space for divine guidance. Your intuition flows purely, without distortion. So, again, the ability to attach to higher self. You have much stronger manifestation powers. You stop riding the emotional roller coaster of gain and loss. So when you're on that roller coaster, you are just, it's like a leaky balloon. Every time you have a surge in emotion, that your balloon loses some light. So when you get off that roller coaster, you're holding all of your light, and that is your manifesting power. Uh, you begin to see things from the lens of the eternal. What once seemed urgent or overwhelming becomes a small in the scope of your soul's journey. So it's putting things in perspective. But we also wanted to talk about the pitfalls of non-attachment, things you want to watch out for. You want to make sure you're not falling into these ditches. Emotional numbness or avoidance. So when you just close something down and just pretend it doesn't exist, sometimes people mistake non-attachment for shutting down emotionally or spiritually. Detachment can become a shield against vulnerability. Spiritual bypassing. This is a big one for them, for our teachers, for our guides, for our mentors. We always want to watch out for spiritual bypassing, because this is nestled deep within our ego, and it likes to hide. It loves to hide. Claiming detachment too quickly can be used to avoid processing pain, grief, or human experiences that are meant to teach us deep lessons. And I gotta say, the spiritual bypassing one is one, it's the sneakiest one. It's, it's saying for ego's sake, well, I don't care about that, or I don't care what this person says, or I don't care what that person says, and I don't care if I have these things or not. Because deep down, you probably do, if you're really quick to say, oh, I don't care about that. So it's about each of us digging deep into our own egos and saying, is that the truth? Or are we just saying that to hide? Isolation or disconnection, that those things happen. Without grounding our heart-centered presence, non-attachment can make someone feel above others, and that can lead to loneliness or some sort of superiority where somebody thinks, oh, I'm way up here and they're all down there. And we don't want to be there. It's just, it can be a very, very lonely place. So you want to make sure that you're not just denouncing things to make yourself seem non-egoic, don't want to do that. All of this can lead to a loss of passion or drive. So it kind of eats away at the soul if you fall into the pitfalls of non-attachment, the darker side. When things are taken to an extreme, detachment can dull your fire. And I really wanted to hit home on this. Passion is a sacred energy, and detachment isn't meant to extinguish it. It's meant to enhance our passion. So us as humans, we have a lot of sacred energy. And when it's used wrong, we don't get to keep it. It deflates our balloon. It can just completely take us out of the game eventually, and it can really dull your light. So these are some things that she wanted to share with anyone who might need it, and I find it to be very, very helpful when I'm going through my own issues and I'm trying to weigh things out and be honest with myself. All of these things flash through my head like a lightning bolt, so I process them so fast. It's just recently I've sat down and made myself just write it out so that maybe it can help other people find guidance when they need it.
Absolutely. So we hope you guys get something from it. Again, when you look at this, it's not about detaching yourself from life. It's about understanding too that we don't have that bird's eye view that the higher self does. And so, often when something doesn't come through that you really wanted to come through, if you just simply wait, it'll come through in a better way, a way that will ultimately help you to walk the path of the higher self and still satisfy the little me, that the embodied portion that doesn't understand the entire picture. And, again, that is why we come in here, and it's to have that full immersion experience and to go through all the ups and downs. But absolutely, it's very much like Yoda and Obi-Wan Kenobi warning of the dark side, because passion is a beautiful thing, and it can give us clues to the higher self in some ways. It also can also take us down these roads that can lead us very far away from the higher self. Mm-hmm. So again, it's using all the tools available to not be pulled into the lower frequencies, but instead to rise above all the minefields that can be laid out in front of us, and again, have that higher picture in mind.
And what this also brings to mind is in astrology, astrologically speaking, a sati sati, which is a time about 7.5 years of your life when you are trying to hold on to something, but ultimately you find out it's better to let go. And it's a really strong lesson from Saturn. So I've seen this happen in my life, like just like minuscule times. But sometimes it happens in our lives and it's a really long, drawn out process. And then in the end, we find out it was okay to let go. So if you don't know or haven't heard of Sati Sati, there's a ton of information on it online, and it's a time in your astrological chart when you're going through big, big changes.
Yes, and if you haven't had your chart done yet, you could reach out to us, and again, evolutionaryenergyarts@gmail.com, and set up a time, about 2-3 weeks to get on the schedule and get a better picture of what the higher self had intended for this life, and even information about past lives. It's pretty wild, really.
Thank you so much. Source bless and namaste.
Namaste.